Buzz, 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 folks.
Bzzz.
We've got a honey-infused beer for you today. I am the Mighty Plantain. Boosh is here with me. And we've got Hive 56 from Allagash. It's an ale brewed with honey and Brettanomyces, which I think is a hop variety, isn't it? Hive
Could be.
56 is a dark sour ale aged with honey in an oak foudre for 18 months. The beer is deep mahogany in color with aroma of strawberries, lemon, and tropical fruit. Notes of dark chocolate, raspberries, and figs present themselves upon the first sip, followed by a lingering tartness. Okay, here's what I was really looking for. We brew this beer with a blend of dark Munich malt, chocolate wheat, midnight wheat, and roasted barley and hop with Cascade and Northern brewer Hive 56 undergoes initial fermentation with our house yeast. We then transfer the beer to a foudre with Brettanomyces. I wanted to say hops at first, but I'm like, that doesn't sound right. It's a yeast. Brettanomyces bruxellensis. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And fresh honey from our Allagash beehives. Over the course of the next 18 months, the Brettanomyces transforms the honey, resulting in a beer with bold, roasty flavors and a hint of tropical fruit. So, let's see how this comes out.
Fruit!
Yeah, and I'm hoping that I didn't make a mistake by not getting the corkscrew ready.
Yeah, you should be able to
that's going to come out easy.
You can grab right onto that. That's the easy ones.
Yeah, some of them are in really tight and they're slippery.
It's the ones that don't have the little knobby at the end there.
Yeah.
Ooh. Smell it.
As you shove it up my nose, that's interesting.
It is.
You're just looking for an excuse to put your wood in my face, whatever.
Oh, my cork.
What are corks made out of? Wood. But yeah, that's an interesting smell. It's
Corks are made out of cork.
It's got a bit of a wine smell to it.
It does, actually.
Which isn't surprising, because with the honey introduced, it's probably a lot like a mead, which tends to be more like a wine, but this was a beer infused with the honey and went through secondary fermentation versus an actual fermented honey, which is what a mead is.
Yeah, there's a lot of different... I'm getting the honey. I'm not getting much out.
I'm getting some sweetness. I'm actually getting some smokiness to this.
There is, actually. I'm getting that too, but it's not as much. I'm getting the sour. It's a sour ale.
Yeah, I'm mostly getting that smokiness.
You're getting a little bit of the oak foundry. It definitely is a deep, dark red.
Yeah, if you take a look at the color on that, it is very dark.
It's really, really, really dark.
But like you said, it does have a red tinge to it where the light's coming through. It's mostly brown, but there is a hint of red there.
Well, really brown is just like a really dark red to begin with.
Isn't everything just one shade or another brown anyway?
Right. No. Actually, it's... So if you actually look at the mahogany, it is actually reddish.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm mostly getting that smokiness, a little bit of sweetness, and like you said, that there's a wine character to it. It's got that bit of sourness, sour fruitiness.
It does, but when you look at the legs on the glass too, it acts like it acts like a wine.
Yeah.
Because you get those little bit of what they call the legs on the glass, it's you get the head that's more like a stout.
It's very effervescent going in. but all those little bubbles bursting on the tongue really bring up those fruity and sour notes.
It's definitely sour. You can tell that.
Mm-hmm. But then that sourness does blend with those subtle fruit notes. I mean, I am getting some strawberry, but I'm not getting specifically anything else that was mentioned on the label, but just a little hint there. Definitely very sour. And then it fades to a smokiness in the finish.
It does. And I'm getting that little bit of a wine, sour wine taste up front.
Mm-hmm.
You get just a little bit of the malt. And I am getting just a tiny, tiny touch of bitterness. I'm wondering if that actually comes from because I don't really think they hopped it too much, but
yeah, they did hop it, but not. It doesn't say.
I'm kind of wondering if that comes from the yeast that they had.
Could be. And remember, we're looking at 2 different fermentations here too, so.
Right, and that's what's kind of weird too. That's kind of different.
I mean, it definitely led to a certain complexity in the brew.
I'm kind of wondering if this is more like a mead to begin with.
It does have some characteristics. It's got a bit of a lighter mouthfeel, and it's behaving almost like a wine in some respects, but it's still distinctly a beer as well. I would say this is, now not being familiar enough with the production of mead to say this, I would say this is almost a perfect blend of a beer and a mead together.
I think you could call it that, I guess.
Well, technically that secondary fermentation that they put it through with the honey and the yeast would lead to the production of a mead.
No.
And they blended that with a beer that went in prior to that secondary fermentation. So it's definitely different and complex.
I'm kind of wondering also if this was kind of bottle conditioned as well.
Nothing indicates that it is. I would assume that when it went into the bottle,
it was done.
Were dead, unless they specifically say bottle conditioned or
right.
Bottle
Usually,
aged, but they didn't. Usually
they don't. But with the yeast, you never know. I mean, the yeast, you could say that it is dead, but it could still be active in some way.
Technically, if you go through a pasteurization before bottling, they should all be dead.
Right, that's true. And if they filtered it too, it should actually be.
Exactly.
Which actually all indications here is it's filtered.
Yeah. There's no particulates or anything settling in the glass. But overall, this
you know what this actually kind of looks like is that it might be on the nitro. But it's not.
No.
As far as the actual foam on the top of it, it looks like it is, but it isn't. And I bet you this would be good if it was nitro.
I can kind of see that. Although I don't think it's got a heavy enough character to hold the nitrogen bubbles.
Probably not.
Well. I think by itself it's extremely effervescent naturally. Like I said, I'm getting
actually as you drink it like that, I just took a little sip there and that foamed back up.
Mm-hmm. And still, this far down into the glass, I'm still getting all kinds of those little bubbles bursting on my tongue, bringing those fruity esters forward. I'm really enjoying it. I think I've got to hit this with a perfect 5 out of 5. This is an extremely complex, different, and interesting beer, and I'm really loving it.
It seems like every time you take a sip, it tastes different. There's
Just
something that comes up.
different.
There's something else that comes up.
Exactly. I was getting that smoky finish earlier, and now it's a little bit more sour in the finish.
Yes. Now, my question to you, Roddy, what do you prefer? Do you prefer sweet, sour, bitter?
I kind of run the gamut. I seem to gravitate towards the hoppy stuff, so probably bitterness.
Right, so bitterness then.
But I also like a nice, good stout or porter, so a different type of bitterness, but a nice maltiness.
It really just depends on what the beer is.
Yeah, and
if,
what it's designed to be.
If it's a hoppy beer, you want that bitterness. If it's not really hoppy, it's supposed to be hoppy, you want whatever it says.
I think the best way is I can enjoy any particular beer style, but I tend to gravitate towards the hoppier beers.
Which is the IPAs.
And the darker beers.
And the darker ones, yeah.
But yeah. So, where are you putting this one numerically?
5.
Full 5 out of 5.
Yep.
Nice.
It actually blew me away with all the different characteristics.
Yeah.
And the fact that I can get a good belch out of it.
Jeez. Yeah, I kind of assumed you were on the same page as me.
But no, it
is stated it, so I wanted to make sure we had that.
It's very complex, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
And every time, like I said, every time you take a sip, you get a different flavor.
You can definitely back that up.
Which actually, to me, is the sign of a good beer, anyway.
Well, like you said, it's very complex, and there are a lot of complex beers out there, but they don't evolve as you drink them.
That's true.
And so this one evolving as you drink it just gives it some extra points.
Yep.
So,
yep.
There you go.
That's a very good beer.
Mm-hmm. Allagash's Hive 56, perfect 5 out of 5 from both of us. Hit us up down in the comments, the email link down below. I want to hear if you agree or disagree, if you have something different to say about the beer, or even if you just want to say, hey, you guys nailed it.
Or, hey, you guys are idiots.
Well, we know you're an idiot, but you still know your beers.
Somewhat.
Hey, while you're down there, make sure to click like and share.
Hey, I'm just here to make you look ugly. Or you're just here to make me look nice.
I'll let you guys comment on that too. But don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll get a notification whenever I post a new video. Till next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.
Keep drinking.
And stay pretty. For Bush's sake.
I never said I was nice, just nice looking.